Does anyone remember Omegle? I know when I was in middle school, it was definitely something popular that we all hopped on, me and my friends. We saw a lot of things we shouldn't have. I think that's where I first saw the male genitalia, and I hated every second of it. And I also remember that because Omegle's video section is so unmoderated, hence why you see a lot of ding dongs on there. Um, I remember one time, my best friend and I at the time were doing our thing on Omegle because that's what we did, and our parents never knew. They should have. They should have stopped us. But we saw a man pull out his Demalema Ding Dong. I'm using comedy to make this better because it's not good in the slightest. And he had a child that had to have been around like 4 grab onto it, and we immediately got off. We vowed we'd never go on Omegle again, and I know I haven't to this day. And I was like 13 at the time. I am a 21-year-old woman now, so, scarred for life. Now, granted, if I were to see something like that, nowadays, there's things that I would do to try and get law enforcement involved, try to track them down. I don't have the best web sleuthing skills, but I'm learning and I'm evolving every day because the internet's a really dark place and a lot of really bad things go unchecked. I know on Twitter, especially with maps being so rampant on there, there's one Twitter account I follow. I have their notifications turned on. It's Zoophile Police. They do great work. It's a team of a few people who find people who post bestiality and child porn on Twitter, so we can all go mass report and get it taken down. It affects my psyche to see it so often, but it needs to be done, and I know I'm not alone in that. And I know Zoophile Police isn't the only account on Twitter that does this, but I can only handle following one, and they've been pretty on top of everything. Also recently, a nonprofit organization that I used to volunteer for on Facebook, they've been calling out things on Facebook that aren't overtly child porn, but are borderline, and you can tell that if it wasn't on Facebook and it wouldn't be taken down immediately, they would post it there. And so it just seems that more recently, these vile things are being put online more and more and being less and less unchecked. And that's an issue. But anyway, hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Today we are not exactly talking about child porn, although I will in a future video. But today we are talking about the crazy cat lady on Omegle. This is a new and developing situation. I woke up like maybe 45 minutes ago, and I've been looking at everything for this like all last night when it was first brought to my attention, and this morning. And like normally I would script out a video, I would do meticulous research and make sure everything's like good, and like I've been doing research, I've been finding everything to the best of my ability, but this is a very new and developing situation, and it needs to be talked about now. So I don't have a script. This video is going to be all over the place, but it needs to be done, and it needs to be done sooner rather than later. We can't just sit on this. So, first things first, I'm not going to be throwing out any suspected names. There's been a few floating around the subreddit. There have been 2 subreddits covering this. The Don't Fuck With Cat subreddit, which is now private or closed or whatever it is. I'm still fairly new to Reddit, but you can't access the Don't Fuck With Cat Reddit anymore. And if that sounds familiar, that subreddit was heavily used in the Luca Magnotta case, or the vacuum kitten killer, if you guys are familiar with that, or the Don't Fuck With Cats documentary on Netflix is probably where you would have heard it most, unless you're a true crime junkie like me and you just know the name Luca Magnotta. So I'm going to start there. I want to say around 2010 to 2013, my dates could be wrong, there was this video that popped up online. I don't remember the name of it. I'm going to find the name of it. But it showed a guy. It was just his hands, you couldn't see his face, and it showed him playing with 2 kittens, and then he put them in one of those vacuum seal bags, vacuumed the air out, and killed them. So he was dubbed the vacuum kitten killer. He posted other videos along those lines with very horrible, horrible graphic things he did to kittens, and immediately a bunch of people through a Facebook group and then eventually the subreddit were working hard to try to find him, because there's one thing that a lot of us true crime buffs know, and that's when you start killing animals, that often escalates. And so it was a race against the clock with all these web sleuths trying to find who this vacuum kitten killer was, knowing that he would likely escalate to killing people. And so the thing about web sleuthing is it's a lot of intensive work, and it's a lot of people coming together. They went from looking at what posters were on his wall to what vacuum cleaner he had to just all these little minute things that you don't think are important, but are. They were able to find where he was located based on the vacuum cleaner he used. It's intense. It's a lot. So now people were on the Don't Fuck With Cats subreddit about this lady on Omegle, which I will get into what she's doing, but now there's also another subreddit that's dedicated specifically to her, which is r/the crazy cat lady first, which refers to her TikTok. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's start with what she's been doing. So, on Omegle, at scheduled out times, which I'll get into what that means to me in a second here, but on Omegle, she's been going on and she's been showing animal bones, she's been showing dead kittens, she's been skinning kittens. I haven't seen any of the things myself. I haven't sought out any of the gore stuff, but from people who have seen it and what I'm hearing, which this could be wrong, and I'll get into that too, but she's skinning these animals, these kittens, alive. She's gouging out their eyeballs. She's burning them. She's eating them. It's a lot. It's awful. It's horrendous. It's the worst parts of humanity coming to light. And just so everyone's been trying to track down this woman because we know it's a woman. Along with, she hasn't been posting this graphic stuff to TikTok because TikTok is very moderated. Like, they'll take down just the mention of suicide or self-harm, so they're definitely not going to let dead animals be on their platform. But she is going on there taunting people, trying to find her. She's going on there and saying, here's when I'm going to be on Omegle if you want to find me. And it's disgusting is what it is. So on the subreddit, people have been doing some really good work, finding a lot of circumstantial evidence. They're doing a lot of things like they did with the Luca Magnotta case of looking at, here's, like, you could see the bottom half of her face. Here's someone we suspect, and here's how the faces line up. Here is wallpaper from this person that we suspect, and that's shown in the video, and this and that, which is really good. But I do also want to say the downside to web sleuthing is that none of us are law enforcement, and we can be wrong. And a lot of times we are wrong. In the Don't Fuck With Cats documentary, they make it a point to point out how at one point they thought that that they got him. They thought they found him. He seemed like the right fit. They sent targeted harassment his way, and they were wrong. But that didn't matter because the person that they harassed, thinking that it was the vacuum kitten killer, killed himself. And that was that. So I want to make it a point to mention that. There's also the Boston bomber situation where everyone went, we did it, Reddit, and they were wrong. And, like, there's talk on the subreddit of people swatting her, or who they suspect is her, or they're putting out her address, or they're putting out these women's addresses, and there's phone numbers floating around, and I want to just say that is wrong. Swatting people and doxing people is a crime, and if you are wrong, the last thing you want is to know that you contributed to some innocent person killing themselves because you thought that they were the person and you couldn't leave it to the law enforcement to do their jobs. So, I believe her TikTok, I think it's still up. I'm not going to search for it. I don't want to see it. I know that there's been times where it's been taken down, but she's popped back up again. She's still on Omegle. Obviously, this is a developing situation. Right now on the subreddit, everyone's thinking they figured out who she is. There's a lot of compelling circumstantial evidence, but I just want to say that the problem with circumstantial evidence, especially if you're not law enforcement, is that it's that there's no concrete proof. You can't know for sure, which is why if anyone goes to the subreddit and starts to join in, or if anyone's from the subreddit and they happen to stumble upon my video on my tiny channel, I just need to say this. With basing everything on circumstantial evidence, you leave a lot of room for error, since we're all just web sleuths with a lot of personal bias. I'm not saying that that's wrong or bad to have this personal bias and this personal interest and, need for this, but I just want to drive the point home that no one on the subreddit, on Twitter, or anything should be trying to contact whoever we suspect is the person. No one should try to swat them. No one should try to dox them. Instead, if you think you have compelling evidence, circumstantial or otherwise, and you think you know where this individual is located, get the number for their local police and law enforcement. I can't talk. I'm angry. Call them. Tell them what you found. Give them everything you can. Ask for an email to send them your evidence. And then step back and let them handle it. Because they are the ones who have the ability and the skill and the training to go in and take your circumstantial evidence and make it concrete so they can arrest her, so they can get the animals out of her home, so they can take care of it. Let them take care of it. What's also good is that you can call the police station back after however much time you think is necessary and ask them for an update. Say, hey, I'm the person who called you about this situation. Are there any updates? And likely they will tell you, or if there's an ongoing investigation, they probably can't. But if there's an ongoing investigation, that in and of itself is an update, which is good, which means something's coming from it. So there's a lot of people on the subreddit who are saying that police don't do anything or they're not going to do anything, and I think that's bullshit and we need to cut it out. Because if you don't let law enforcement do their job, you ruin the case. If you try to contact her or who you suspect is her and it is her, then she knows that she needs to cover her tracks better. Then she knows that you're onto her, and then she can get away with a lot more. Or, if you suspect it's her and it isn't her, then the actual person doing this sees, oh, they're on the trail of the wrong person. I'm doing everything right. I'm getting away with this, and that gives them room and the gusto to escalate. And like with Luca Magnotta, it escalated to him doing more and more fucked up things to cats, and then eventually he killed a man. We don't want that. We want to avoid that at all costs. So distrusting the police, not handing over evidence, that's going to do the opposite of help. That's only going to make it worse. And I guarantee, because like Luca Magnotta, she is obsessively searching her, moniker, her little nickname. She's probably in the subreddit. She is feeding off of everyone trying to look for her and the fact that no one has yet. Or maybe they have. I don't know. I'm not going to know until the police are given the right tips and the right information and they can go and do their job. So just, let the police do their job. Don't try to do that. And there's also this whole thing, some ordinary gamers. I watched his video last night after I first saw this whole situation pop up on Twitter, and then I found the subreddit through him. But he posted an update like 6 hours ago saying, hey, don't be online vigilantes. That's not okay. That's not going to get anything done. And it's not. Listen to him. He is right. That, and he also brought up how some people are like saying, oh, well, Netflix might pick this up and we could be a part of Don't Fuck with Cats too. And like, that's not the point. That's not what this is about. If you're in this and you're doxing people and you're not giving things to law enforcement just so you can try to get some kind of fame or notoriety through Netflix, fuck all the way off. Like, that is not what this is for. We're not doing this and subjecting ourselves to horrible things, going on Omegle and seeing dick after dick and horrible thing after horrible thing, trying to find this woman who's skinning cats alive just so we can get 15 minutes of fame on a Netflix documentary. We're doing it so we can find whoever this sick individual is and get them put away or charged with something. Just, I'm so angry. I'm angry at the crazy cat lady. I'm angry at the people who are doing this for the wrong reasons. I'm angry at the people who are saying, oh, law enforcement's not going to do anything. I'm just so angry. There's no need for a lot of this. So anybody, trying to go above and beyond to get some kind of notoriety, stop it. Fuck off. If you're not in this for the right reason, leave the subreddit, stop, and just let it be handled by law enforcement. Or what would feel a lot better is if you handed some vital evidence or circumstantial stuff to law enforcement and they got an arrest. Then wouldn't that be great for you to say, hey, I helped with this, instead of hurting the investigation or whatever the fuck it is we're doing online? Just, I'm so mad. But anyway, this is a developing situation. There's talk about it on Twitter through hashtag #CrazyCatLady for a lot of updates. There's the subreddit, although with people doxing people, like, I didn't even get into this fully, but you can't pin down her location because she's using a VPN. And if you don't know what a VPN is like, I have one, and I can just go into my VPN and say, today I want to be in China, which is a horrible place to go with a VPN. I don't even think you can because of how their internet is, but like, I know a lot of YouTubers get sponsored by like NordVPN or ExpressVPN, and they explain it better than I am. But like, the biggest thing that other YouTubers will highlight is like, oh, you want to watch what's on Italy's Netflix? You just go into your VPN and you say, oops, now I'm in Italy. And like, that's what she has. That's what she's doing. You can't pin her down. There's a bunch of talk about where she is. There's a bunch of phone numbers and addresses floating around. And I'm not going to say them. I'm not going to say even who people on the subreddit think she is, because I don't condone that. Like, if you think you have this, go to law enforcement. And if this crazy cat lady ever sees this, which I don't know if she will, but like, I don't care if you're doing, like, if you actually are taking animals and skinning them alive or torturing them, whatever. I don't care if these are dead animals you have because you're a taxidermist. Yeah, that's a thing that she claims to be. Or if it's all fake and you're just trying to fuck with people. Either way, it's not funny. That is not any kind of way to get notoriety. I don't care if you have no talent or skill or anything to display online, and this is the only way you think you can get any kind of fame. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve the notoriety you're trying to get. So, And either way, whether it's real or not, even though it looks to be pretty fucking real, um, there's still a crime being committed. There's still something wrong here that needs to be addressed. So, I've been ranting and raving for 20 minutes now. I'm going to go take a shower to get all of this horrible disgustingness off my body and hopefully feel a little bit better about myself. Newsflash, I won't. But anyway, if you are going to hop into the investigation, please, for the love of God, give anything of vital importance, even minor importance, give anything over to the police. Don't just jump on the whole, we got our bandwagon, until we get any kind of confirmation from law enforcement. This is a developing situation. It's fucked up. Don't go trying to seek her out on Omegle if you would be scarred by it, or just for shits and giggles. I think the only people actively trying to seek her out are the people who are just trying to pin down her location. So I don't even know if that's fully okay, but either way, don't be a vigilante. Don't fuck with cats. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm sorry.